This is for educational use only. Our group grants permission for our instructor, Mr. Roldan Ardines, to use this as educational material, no copyright infringement. Global population and demography. Learning outcome. At the end of the lesson, the students will be able to Lu 13.1. Explain the theory of demographic transition as it affects global population.
Let's talk about the world's population, because it's changing faster than you might think. Right now, there are about 8 billion people on Earth. That's a massive jump from just 2.5 billion in 1950.
First, definition of population and demography. Second, what is population and demography all about? Third, the theories of demographic transition as it affects global population. Definition of population and demography. I'll be discussing the definition of population and demography. Before we go deeper in the global population studies, it's important to first understand what these two key terms means, population and demography. Definition of population. Population refers to the total number of people living in a specific area or region at a given time. It includes every individual, men, women, and children, regardless of age, background, or nationality. For example, the population of the Philippines is now around 118 million people, while the total world of population has reached more than 8 billion. A population is not just about a number. It's not about a number. It helps us to understand how many people live in a place and how fast the number is increasing or decreasing and how those people are distributed. It will be a small area like barangay, a city, a country, or even an entire world. And also classify population according to age, gender, occupation, education, and location. This is what we call population composition. That's why studying population is very important. It helps leaders and organizations plan of and make sure the needs of people are met. Definition of demography. The demography is a scientific study of human population. It examines the size, structure, and distribution of population, as well as how they change over time due to birth, deaths, and migration. In short, demography tells us how and why populations grow or shrink. The demographers or population scientists collects and analyze populations data using census, survey, and statistics. They look factors such as the birth rate, the numbers of babies born per year. Death rate. The death rate is the number of people who died per year. Migration rate, the movement of people from one place to another. By studying this factor, demography can predict future population trends, such as whether a country will grow or decrease in number, or of it might face overpopulations problems.
Importance of population and demography. Understanding population and demography is not just about numbers. It helps in decision making for both governments and societies. For example, in education, how many schools are needed for students? In health, what kind of medical services should be provided? In the economy, how many jobs should be created? In housing and infrastructure, how to plan cities properly. Without demographic information, it would be hard for leaders to prepare for the future needs of the people. Population is the number of people living in an area, and demography is the study of population, how it changes and why.
So, what is population and demography all about? Population and demography are two closely related concepts that provide a foundation for understanding human society and its development. These fields are essential in studying how people live, grow, and interact within specific areas. Through population and demographic studies, researchers and policy makers gain insights into issues such as population growth, immigration, health, and resource distribution, all of which are vital for planning and development. So what is population? The term population refers to the total number of individuals or inhabitants living in a particular geographic area that at a given time can describe the population of a country, city, or a small community. Population studies focus on size, composition, and distribution. These elements are important because they show how many people live in an area, what age groups they belong to, and how they are spread across regions. Population data are commonly used in planning public service such as education, healthcare, housing, and transportation. For example, a country with a growing youth population needs to invest more in schools and employment opportunities, while an aging population requires more healthcare and social support. What is demography? Demography is a scientific study of human population, particularly their size, structure, and development over time. It involves analyzing statistical data on births, deaths, and migrations, and aging to understand population trends and predict future changes. Demography looks deeper than mere numbers. It explains why populations grow or decline. It studies fertility rates, mortality rates, life expectancy, and migration patterns. Demographers uses these indicators to forecast population growth, urbanization, and social changes that affects the economy and environment. For instance, rapid population growth in developing countries can create pressure on resources and infrastructure, while population decline in development nations can lead to labor shortage and aging population.
Importance of population and demographic studies. Government planning and policy making. Accurate demographic data guide national and local governments in designing effective programs for education, housing, healthcare, and employment. Economic development, understanding population growth and labor force trends helps predict economic potential and challenges. Environmental management, population studies identify how human growth affects natural resources and sustainability. Social development, demography helps address issues such as aging populations, migration, and urbanization by providing reliable data for social planning. Public health population data help identify health risk, disease patterns, and healthcare needs across different groups. Population and demography are crucial in shaping the way societies understand themselves and plan for the future.
The theories of demographic transitions as it affect global populations. The demographic transitions theory explains how the populations change as a country develop. It shows how birth rates and death rates go up or down over time. There are 5 stages and each stage affects the global populations differently. Stage 1, high stationary, birth rate high and death rate high. Populations growth, slow, people have many children, but many die young because of disease, poor food, and no hospitals. Example: ancient times are early tribal societies, like how people lived hundreds of years ago with no medicine or clean water. Stage 2. Early expanding. Birth rate still high, death rate starts to fall. Population's growth, rapid better food, cleaner water and medicine reduce deaths, but family still have many children. Example: during the Industrial Revolution in the Europe or today in countries like Nigeria or Bangladesh, many babies are born and must survive, so the population's growth fast. Stage 3. Late expanding. Birth rate begins to fall. Death rate low. Population's growth slow down. People move to society, get better job, and want smaller families. Example: family Philippines, India, Indonesia. Families are smaller because of education and family planning. Parent must quietly like for few children instead of having many of children. Stage 4. Low stationary birth rate. Low death rate low. Population's growth stable. People focus on careers and lifestyle, not on having many kids. Example: United States, France, South Korea. Modern families may only have one or two children and population stays the same. Stage 5. Declining stage or new stage. Birth rate very low, death rate slightly higher. Population's growth negative, populations decrease. People marry late, have few or no kids. Example: Japan, Germany, Italy. More old people, few babies, so the population slow goes down.
Effects on global population. The demographic transition affects the world in several ways. So, the first one is population growth patterns. Developing countries grow quickly, while developed countries may face population decline. Second is urbanization. As economies grow, more people move to cities for better opportunities. Third is economic impact. Rapid population growth can create a large labor force, but too much growth can strain resources. Four is education and health. Declining birth rates allow better focus on education, healthcare, and quality of life. The fifth is aging populations. In advanced stages, countries must support older citizens through pensions and healthcare. So the theories of demographic transition shows that population change is linked to a country's level of development, and as nations progress, they move from high birth and death rates to low ones, shaping the size, structures, and future of the global population. So understanding this theory helps governments and organizations plan for sustainable growth and a balanced population.
In conclusion, the study of global population and demography helps us to understand how and why populations grow, change, and move over time. It provides insight into patterns of birth rates, death rates, and migration that shape societies and worldwide. The theory of demographic transition explains these changes through different stages from high birth and death rates in undeveloped societies to low rates in developed ones. This transition affects not only populations size but also social, economic, and environmental conditions globally. Studying these demographic trends allows governments and organizations to plan better for education, healthcare, employment, and sustainable development, ensuring a balanced and prepared global society for the future.